Hey guys, FL3Xorz here, and today I'm gonna talk about the 5 commands that have been spoiled from Strixhaven. Note also that my opinions about these cards are from the perspective of a historic player. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna start off with Quandrix Command. So every command has the choose to option. These options are return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand, counter target artifact or enchantment spell, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature, target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. So off the bat, bouncing a creature with any kind of upside for 3 mana is definitely not bad. If it weren't that the other options need you to have some kind of prerequisite, that is. See, your opponent needs to be casting an artifact or enchantment, you need a creature in play for the +1/+1 counter, 3 cards in your graveyard that you want to shuffle back. The counter bounce combo, of course, is the strongest, I think. Of course, all in all, I think I can only rate it 3 out of 5. It's not the worst, but some of its modes make it a bit of a weird fit to me. Right, moving on to the next Witherbloom Command, of course. Target player mills 3 cards, then you return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Target creature gets -3, -1 until end of turn. Target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So, this command's strength to me is in that 3 of its 4 modes can always be chosen. But for 2 mana, of course, we shouldn't expect too much here. The third mode might just as well be -1/-1 since it's sorcery speed. And the destroy mode only hits stuff like Seal Away, Flame of Kelt, Curiosity, you know, all the cheap enchantments that remove stuff like Glass Casket. It can also hit that. In which cases you want different cards, I think. For example, I think Reclamation Sage is a better answer against most of those cards. Lose 2, gain 2 can sometimes get you out of a pinch or push that final bit of damage, so it's fine by itself for 2 mana. The mill option can help certain strategies like zombies. I'm thinking about that, for example. Might even end up in Uro decks if it weren't banned in Historic, just to put it in the graveyard and get more cards in there to escape it. But, you know, I don't see it being used very often right now. It gets 2 out of 5 from me. The modes make it more of a sideboard card, I think. Next command we have planned for you is the Silverquill Command. So again, choose to target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. This is kind of a more unique card in that it has 2 modes that are straight control and the other 2 seem more aggro oriented. Of course, draw 1 card, lose 1 life is nearly always a decent first option. It's the combination that I have a hard time with. You know, sacrificing is not always good. They might have some tokens out, they might have like a Llanowar Elves out, that they don't mind really sacrificing that. Returning a creature of 2 mana or less for 4 mana doesn't seem like a great investment, even with the secondary upside you get. And even when you make your opponent sacrifice their only creature, for example, and you get a 2-drop back, that's still just a 2-drop. You spend 4 mana to do that. If you're on the draw, your opponent will probably hit 5 mana. So a 5-drop against a 2-drop still not scaling up too well, if you ask me. So I rate this one 2 out of 5 as well. I just feel there are better options to do what you can do with this command. Let's move on to the next one, being a Lorehold Command. So, create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible and haste until end of turn. Lorehold Command deals 3 damage to any target. Target player gains 3 life. I'm probably gonna put up a lightning helix somewhere on the screen here because it's literally that effect actually. And the final mode is sacrifice a permanent, then draw 2 cards. So, the first time I saw this card, I was not really impressed and quickly wrote it off as too expensive for aggro. But that second mode might simply be a bait actually, because all the other options can also be used in a mid-range or even in a control deck if you ask me. Key thing here, it's an instant. Making a 4/2 spirit that's indestructible to block and having it being able to attack even if you kill their only creature, that's a pretty big tempo swing. That's definitely worth it. So besides that, if that even wasn't enough, you have, of course have the good old lightning helix attached to it. And the last mode is also something you can opt into when you get flooded, for example, or just need a better answer than the helix mode that's attached. So this one gets 3 out of 5, but it's more like, you know, 3.5 because of the versatility it has. And then the final one, of course, we're going to close this out with Prismari Command. So, first option, deals 2 damage to any target, basically shock, draws 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. That's reminding me of Izzet. Target player creates a treasure token and destroy target's artifact. After I read mode 1 and 2 the first time, I was sold on this card. Looting and casting a shock for 3 mana in your opponent's turn can create some very nice setups. Even making the treasure token also seems like an option that will get picked several times, because either you use it to ramp, like for example play this on turn 3 and then play out a 5-drop like a Teferi. For example, in my Jeskai Planeswalkers deck, that would be an option. Or you could use it to fix colors for example, if you have 3 blue and 1 red in play and you have like the dragon, the double blue, double red dragon from Ravnica in your hand, this can also help you cast it. And of course, the final mode is also a sideboard option more. Then again, I do like it that the option is on there, because it can definitely create some interesting scenarios against players who do play artifacts in their main deck and you play discard in your main deck. I'm just thinking about stuff like, you know, even if it was just a chromatic lantern for some decks, if you can blow that up, that can definitely already make a difference, and especially in game 1. So I like it a lot. So this command gets 4 out of 5 from me. The modes on it are neutral, but powerful enough that it fits in a lot of different strategies, actually. So there we go. The first review is in, but one more thing I would like to get in. If we don't get back Baleful Strix in a set named Strixhaven, I will be a very, very sad man. Very. But I know it's not gonna happen. I'm very realistic about that, since it's never been printed in a standard playable set before, of course. Still, come on. Baleful Strix in Strixhaven. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you next week.